The idea for using a whole town as a subject was something that had been around for a while. I discussed it with, as a lot of these ideas, with Andy Nyman, who was my previous sort of full-time writing partner, who's now acting a lot, and I don't work with him as much. But it was an idea we discussed and thought was powerful, and we discussed various ideas of a sort of vampire outbreak or some kind of creating some sort of panic. But then all that was felt a bit just sort of irresponsible. But what really interested me was the idea of going in with just a question, just one presupposition. And the question here is, have you heard about the lucky statue, this dog statue in the park? And it wasn't even saying it is lucky or it does anything, just have you heard about it, presupposing that it's lucky. So that then people would, regardless of whether they've heard about it or not, they're kind of accepting the idea that there is a lucky statue. So the idea was to just be that one question that would start this rumour and hopefully lead to people believing in it, or whether, perhaps it would change their behaviour or make them luckier or not. And that was just it was something I hadn't done before, and that idea of planting one thing in a big community and just seeing how that would spread. But it took a while to find out exactly what it would be and how you would work, how you'd be able to film it and contain it. Because if it was anything unpleasant, if it was vampires, for example, then you could have people panicking, and then people outside of the village that knew or were related to people inside the village sort of getting upset or complaining. So it took a long time to find something that would be positive and manageable and kind of producible as a TV idea. We scouted around a long time for looked at different villages and different towns. There were a few things that were important. It kind of a certain kind of scenic aspect to it that I suppose it was going to feature a lot in the show. The town or the village itself was almost like a character in the show, so it needed to kind of look nice and have a nice feel to it. We needed somewhere that would have a suitable totem, a suitable thing that was lucky. And we were discussing it could be a fountain or it could be a tree. It sort of could be anything. And then we sort of found this dog statue, this kind of funny looking thing that was something that some people knew was there, but people weren't that aware of it. It had been there for a while, but wouldn't seem too odd if you discovered that it had some sort of lucky story associated with it. We just mulled over various towns, and in the end decided to go with Todd, which was great. It also turned out that it had this kind of background of folklore and UFO sightings and so on as well. So I thought, well, that'll only help. I think what superstitious belief often amounts to is a kind of mistaken feeling that we can control, almost a slightly megalomaniac feeling that we can control the world, so we can control events around us. Like if I don't walk under that ladder, then the universe will conspire to make better things happen to me. Or if I wear my lucky socks, that my team will score a goal in the match, because the last time they scored a goal in the match, I was wearing those socks. Or we just start to build associations between random events, things that have happened and that we've done, and then things out in the world, and we draw a cause and effect where there aren't any. So whether that is wearing your lucky socks because you think that affects things in the world, or touching the lucky dog because you then think that better things will happen to you, it's a false cause and effect. But what's interesting about luck, and what's interesting about the story of the dog, is that there can be a sort of cause and effect. If you wear your lucky socks because you think your team will score a goal on the match that you're watching, then clearly there's no link, and that's daft. But if you do something that makes you feel luckier, that can then affect your behaviour. You can go out and you can think more positively about something. You might just be looking for positive coincidences. There's nothing wrong with that. But you can also, like when they went to Blackpool and played on the arcades, they were playing better. They were playing for longer. They were concentrating more. They weren't giving up, and they were winning more and more and more. Which is why I didn't at the end want to come in and go, look, it's all rubbish. It's all rubbish. We just made it all up. It's not lucky, because it felt like there's a bit more to it than that. There is something that you could actually take from this, and what you can take from it is the fact that being lucky is about taking more opportunities. You can be more lucky, not because wearing magic socks or touching the magic dog does anything, but because if you take more opportunities in life, if you are more open to what's around you, and be one of those people that engages more with things rather than just sort of what most of us do, and what I tend to do is just to sort of like, no, just sort of not be interested. But if you take more opportunities, you'll be luckier because more things happen. You make more connections, more things will happen to you, and therefore more good things will happen to you, and you'll be more aware of those things happening. And that's the difference between lucky and unlucky people. This also was based on somebody coming up to me after a show once in Liverpool, I think it was, and a kind of a downtrodden woman saying to me, "What can I do to be lucky? What can I do? I'm just unlucky in life." And it just struck me as a kind of a sad thing, because it was clearly a self-perpetuating issue, because she believed she was unlucky, and it just felt like there's just something needs to break that kind of cycle, and this is what it is, taking opportunities.